guys, welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. We are going to be looking at ReEditions, and these are watches that were produced previously and companies have brought them back to life in their current collections. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on why I think ReEditions are kind of a lazy way out for some companies. Obviously that's a gross generalization, and I want to say at the top of this video, this is a real generalization, and I don't think you can apply this concept to every single ReEdition that's ever been released. So just know that this is just me kind of speaking my mind about this. If there are specific watches that you want to discuss when it comes to ReEditions, let's do that, because I think there are obviously nuances that are going to change my opinion about this, and I think that's totally fine. I have, as collectors have, like we all have the right to our opinion and to be able to change it if we get better information. So yeah, this is going to be a discussion about why I think ReEditions can be a lazy way out. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. So just to define ReEditions really quickly, the way I define a ReEdition is when a watch company takes a watch that they had produced previously that has since then they stopped producing it, and then they went back into their archives, found a piece from their archives and remade it in their current lineup of watches. Now, I think like ones that come to mind very easily are things like Omega Speedmaster, but you could also think about more boutique companies. You could think of other companies like Vacheron Constantin coming out with that chronograph that was a two-tone case, gold and stainless steel. You could think about that watch as a ReEdition. And this is where, like, already when I say this feels like I'm muddying the water with my opinion about this, because I think the first generation of a ReEdition is totally fine. That's a way that a company can take something that they had produced in the past that was really beautiful, bring it to life in a modern version of it, and celebrate really the time and energy that they took to produce something in the past, and really bring it to light to make sure that the collectors are aware of the things that they have done and can do as a manufacturer. So I think the first version is totally fine. Do that because it is a celebration of heritage, but it's also a really beautiful watch. Where I draw the line, and I think it gets super redundant, is when every single one of your pieces in your modern line of watches are ReEditions. So there is not a single new watch that you've kind of put a lot of time and energy and thought into producing. And so you are literally just taking what you had in the past and trying to continue to produce it in the present. In my opinion, that's really, I'm all about trying to move watchmaking forward, right? That's why I like independent watch companies, because they're producing things that are very unique, but also stretching what we define as a watch and how a watch can look and what a movement can be, how a movement can be constructed. That's where I really like independent watches, and I don't want companies to I don't want companies to think that they can continue to produce what they've done in the past and still be considered a really great player within watchmaking, because the reason why those watches back in the day that they were produced, the reason why people loved them so much is because it was revolutionary, because it was its own thing. And that's why now we're saying, hey, let's produce it again, because it was so loved then. The vintage collectors really love it. Let's produce it now so that vintage collectors can have a taste of that in a modern watch. That's why, from inception to the first ReEdition, that's why the company decided to do that. But let's say you think about from now and think about 50 years from now. If your company is only making ReEditions and it's ones that you had produced in the past and that's it, when you get 50 years down the line, you're not going to have anything to look back on and say, hey, let's produce that again because it was really loved. You know, you're literally going to say, okay, I guess we're going to release our, 100th version of this ReEdition again. And to me, that's where's the revolutionary thinking and artistic ability in any of that. It's really just kind of resting on your laurels and not innovating. And I think that's something that we really love about watchmaking, is it is innovation. Now again, like I think a really great argument against my points are, you know, you produced it 50 years ago, we're producing it now because people still love it, still love that watch. Why would we do anything different if they continue to enjoy this watch and love this watch? It's totally fair enough. I think that's a great argument. Yes, people have loved it up until this point. Going forward, what I would say to that is, going forward, you don't really know what people are gonna love. Yeah, they probably will still love it, but I think there is ambiguity in the future. You don't know what's gonna end up happening to people's watch tastes and the types of watch that people want to wear or to buy. I think also, like, one thing that you have to consider is, going into the future, what is the perception going to be like of your watch manufacturer? And I think more importantly, as people who are running these companies, what do you want people to think about your watch manufacturer? You know, do you want them to think, oh, that's the company that makes this watch? Totally fine. If that's what you want to do, yeah, sure. Be the company that says, we make this one specific watch, and we made it in the past, we make it now, and that's what we plan on doing in the future. Sure. And if people end up buying your watch, that's great. But I think the fact that you don't know what's going to happen in the future should really make you think, let's try and do something different with some of the watches that we have. I think a perfect example of this is Audemars Piguet. Audemars Piguet is obviously known for their Royal Oak, produced in the past, currently produced now, have some auxiliary lines that they've produced off of that kind of design. And then they decided to innovate and create the Code 1159, and were absolutely slaughtered for it. Like, I haven't, and I think wrongly so. Code 1159 was a way of them trying to innovate and create something different, and to differentiate the watches that come out of that watch manufacturer. And can I tell you something? Yes, the Royal Oak is obviously going to continue to be a very, very desired watch, but that Code 1159, I guarantee it's going to have a place in history in 50 years. I guarantee people are going to look back and say, wow, I can't believe it's interesting to look at something like a Code 1159, which is so different than what they were known for leading up to this. And I'm excited for that, actually, because yes, I think they received a little bit of criticism, which I think some of it was deserved, but at the same time, if you look at their really, really high-end pieces that came out of that Code 1159 line, that is what innovation looks like. Something that people are not used to. Looks a little bit different than what we're typically looking at when it comes to Audemars Piguet, and as well as looking different. The movements are constructed a little bit different. There's a little bit new innovations that kind of pop around when it comes to the watches that are coming out of that line. I think that's a perfect example. So, you know, yes, continue to do your Royal Oak because people love it, but find something else that you can kind of have on the back burner to say, oh wait, we don't actually like, let's say consumers say, we don't, in 10 years or 20 years from now, Royal Oak's great, but kind of tired of it because everything looks like that now. What else do you have to fall back on? What else are people going to say? That is Audemars Piguet, and that is what I'm going to kind of pivot to, because I'm a diehard Audemars Piguet fan, but I'm just I'm losing interest in the Royal Oak kind of feel. Let me check out the Code 1159. I think that's a great example of not resting on your laurels, continuing to innovate, and finding something new that people will actually end up enjoying. So I hope you guys kind of like my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think about ReEditions. I think, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, it is a very interesting topic to discuss because, yes, ReEditions are great. You're able to bring things from the past and enjoy them in a modern edition of that watch. But at the same time, you don't want a company that just creates the same thing over and over again. because to me it lacks innovation, it lacks creativity, and that's really why we love these things, is because of that kind of edge that they have. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about ReEditions. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you haven't done them already, be sure to hit that like button if you like this type of video. Also, if you're new to the channel or you just aren't subscribed, because I know a big portion of you are not subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like these types of videos. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.